Howdy folks, welcome back to another video here. We got our 302 running, and I think I've solved two issues, because I got good news and I got bad news. Good news is got a radiator for it, got our hoses on. Bad news is we got a blowed head gasket, and we'll fire it up and show you. And I think what that is, I was thinking it was the exhaust leak or one of the plugs, like around the porcelain on it. I sounded like it was losing compression through it, and I got to checking it out and looking at it, and I went to the parts place and bought these two plugs, number 3 and 4, because it sounded like number 3. So I put 2 new plugs in it because it sounded like it was losing compression when it's running. It had that kind of sound. So I put 2 new plugs in it. That didn't fix nothing. It runs the same. And I went ahead and after we got our radiator in here and all, fired it up, it still sounds the same. And I'll show you why in a second. We'll run it. Why I think it's got a blow head gasket. So let's fire it up. Now we can run it a little bit longer now since we got water too in it. And it starts up easy. Clean it off for a second. It's got that mist, you know. And it runs good. Got water in it. And our carburetor and all runs good. But this is not too good. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me cut it off here so I can show y'all what I'm talking about. And the funny part is it doesn't smoke. But see how it's blowing a lot of water out, a lot of condensation. Granted, it is cold today, but I've had this running for about 30 minutes. Let's turn it off here. And I think I know why they took the thermostat out, because I think it was getting hot, because there's no thermostat in here whatsoever. And I think why they did that is it has a blown head gasket. I mean, you can just see, just barely pulling it out. And I've only had it running 30 minutes. If you can see that, anytime you got a blown head gasket, because I had one on my other truck when I had the old motor in it. So I had a 350 in it. And it had this exact same milky kind of milkshake look. So that's not a good sign. Yeah, now you can really see it. It'll focus. See how it's got this milky kind of look? There you go, now you can really see it. It's on the whole thing. Now my other 350, when I pulled the valve covers off, basically the whole top of this valve cover was covered in like a milkshake. But I pulled that one off. That one's not like that. So what I think it is because I thought one of the exhaust manifold had a crack in it, and it very well still could. But that would be number 3 cylinder, I'm pretty sure has a blowed head gasket. So that's the bad news. So that being the case, I'm gonna probably take some of the stuff back to the store, because I just bought this radiator basically just to put in it, just to see. And I'm gonna take it back to the store, get my money back out of it. We'll wash it out real good. And plus you can kind of see it's got a lot of, I thought it was just from setting, but it's got that in it. So we'll wash it all out real good and get our money back for that. But we definitely got a blowed head gasket on this side. Now it's weird because on my 350 it was number, of course this is a 302, but on a small block Chevrolet, number 7, this was the last one back, or the 4th one back, would be number 7 on a small block Chevrolet. And that one had a blowed head gasket. And number 1 on a small block Chevrolet, it had a burnt exhaust valve. So that's what was wrong with that. It had 2 things going on, plus the cam lobes, about 1 or 2 of them were pretty much worn out into a perfect circle. But we're going to go forward here. I'm going to pull this motor out, because the main thing we know we got a good carburetor, because that carburetor runs really good. So we got a good carburetor on it, we got a good distributor, we got a good coil and all that. And we're going to pull everything back off. We'll take our valve covers off and everything. We'll start getting stuff cleaned up, because I'm going to reuse the intake and all that. And the water pump, I mean, it don't have no slop in it. But we're going to reuse a lot of the stuff. But that is why they pulled that thermostat out in there, because it's no thermostat in there whatsoever. And plus you can see the RTV down there where somebody had it off. And I even asked the guy at the time, they said it didn't have a blowed head gasket. And of course I'm thinking in the back of my mind, you know, you don't know what you get, because this is something until you, when you're buying other people's stuff, you don't know what you're getting until you actually really work on it and run a little bit. But it's not the end of the world. The only bad part about it is anytime you have a blowed head gasket like that, you can't just, you know, pull the heads and the intake and everything off of it, because if you think about it, you know, that's just water basically washing all the oil off. You know, your cam, your lifters, your rocker arms, you know, your main bearings, your rod bearings, it's washing all the oil off. And that's not good either, because, you know, that creates friction. And, you know, you're more or less going to wipe out all the cam bearings, your rod bearings, main bearings, pretty much everything. So you can't really do just a top end rebuild on it and call it good. Because then if you do that, then you got a bottom end that's, you know, all the bearings are basically wiped out on it. But what I'm going to do is, it's cold today because it's snowing. But I'm going to take in, once it warms up, maybe around May, a month or 2, I'm going to pull this motor out and I'm going to start looking for another one. Because really, this is a good truck. I mean, we got a good radiator for it, we got a good carburetor, we got a good distributor now. So we can just take all that, you know, we'll just reuse it on our other motor. Because I really don't think I'm going to be able to get away with just a ring on this thing. Because I was wanting to pull it out and just pull it out and take it down to the machine shop, get them to clean everything, hot tank all the heads, the intake, you know, block, everything. Just get them to check it all. And, you know, basically just hone the cylinders and re-ring it and just kind of let it go. Wasn't really planning on doing any machine work, because, you know, it's kind of costly. So that's $2,000 and I don't have $2,000 to lay out. But then again, you know, you never know. I might pull it out and the bearings might be okay. But I don't know how long this has been running like this, and it's probably been a while. So it's probably wiped out the bearings in it. Because it's definitely not a rod knock or anything like that. I think what's actually happening is when that cylinder is coming up, it's letting water into it. And then, you know, the water has nowhere to go, and it's basically just blowing out the exhaust. Because that's what my 350 did. mean, it's holding water. Because the other thing too, it could be a cracked head, which I hope not. But as long as I've been running like 30 minutes. I mean, the water would have gone down quite a bit. I don't think it's nothing serious like that. I think it's just a blowed head gasket. So the plan is now we're going to pull this out. We'll go through it. We'll check. If the bearings are really bad, then I'll probably get another motor for it. More than likely. And if they're not too bad, I may re-ring it. But we'll have to check and see if everything's, still within spec. Because I don't want to just slap something together, then a month or two down the road something happens again. But that's the bad news, is we definitely got a blowed head gasket because it's definitely milky. And I was going to change the oil in it, and I'm glad I didn't. Because I wouldn't have showed up so quick. But I think once we get a good motor in here, we do a couple more things, and this truck will be alright once we get a good motor in it. As we think back, we still got a good carburetor, we got a good distributor, the coil, none of that, it's not going to affect none of that. Got a new water pump on it, or somebody put that one on. So hopefully I can reuse that water pump. That'll save a little bit of money. But I was kind of afraid that that was going to happen. But just one of them things, it's a lesson learned. You don't know what you're buying until you really buy it and actually run it for a little bit and drive it, and and really see what's truly going on. But in the positive way, I mean, regardless, the way this 302 looks, I mean, regardless, it needed to be pulled out anyway. Because I'm just not going to, run it like it is, because it's got oil leaks and everything else with it. So either way, I wasn't going to run it like that, because that's just not good. Get the battery unhooked here. Because I was going to take in at the end of the month and get an alternator for it and wire that up, and get it to where you can start it and charge the battery and it won't kill it. Because I don't like running it like it, because it's hard on the battery. Because that battery's not even that old. It's actually out of my red truck, and I don't want to kill that one as my main battery. But we're getting there though. And the guy was real nice at the parts place. I asked him if I could just buy it and then run it and see how it runs, and then he's real nice, so he's going to let me bring it back. I'll wash it out real good, because I'm not going to leave water in here anyway, because it's still, kind of cold outside. But that's why I didn't want to get antifreeze for it, because had I bought antifreeze, filled it up, then I just wasted, all that money and time. I just filled up with water. But anyway, that's where we're at. And I hope y'all enjoy our videos, and I'll keep y'all updated. Thanks for watching.